We are talking about the multiplication property of exponents. I've got several examples here for us to go through together. Also some notes over here on the side. We'll refer to those as we go along. So let's start off here with this first problem. We've got y squared times y cubed. So as we can see over here with the notes, whenever you have two like bases, the main number or variable is going to be called our base. With different exponents, what we actually wind up doing is just adding those exponents, and here's why. If we have y squared, that means y times y, and then we're multiplying that times y to the third, which is 3y's multiplied together. So when we look at it like this, I'll expand it out. How many y's are we multiplying together? Well, we're multiplying 5. So this would give us y to the fifth. So really all we did was take the exponents of 2 and 3 and add them together to give us the exponent of 5. Let's take a look at problem 2. We've got a couple of different variables in here. So when we are multiplying different variables, we can only put like bases together. So that means a times a squared is going to give us a to the third power. So keep in mind that any variable or number with no exponent is an understood exponent of 1. So whenever you have a base and you don't see an exponent at all, it's just an understood 1. So all we're doing is adding together 1 and 2 to get 3. And then for the b, we don't have anything else to multiply with that has a b base, so it's just going to be b to the third. So this is our final simplified answer. Okay, let's take a look at number 3. Now we've got a mixture of coefficients and variables. So we can go ahead and multiply together the coefficients, the 6 and the 5. That's going to give us 30. And then for our x bases, we've got x squared and x to the fifth. We're going to add those exponents together. So that gives us x to the 7th. So we get 30x to the 7th for this one. All right, in number 4, we've got, again, coefficients and different variables. So let's go ahead and multiply together the two coefficients. 3 times 2 is 6. And then since our variables are different, we cannot combine them together. So we're just going to put everything together, m to the 4th, n to the 7th, like that, all in a row. We're multiplying all of these together. When you don't see a symbol in between any of the variables or the coefficients, and that always just means to multiply. All right, and then our last example here, we've got a pretty long expression here, so let's see what we can do with that. Let's first go through and identify all of our coefficients. So I see 2, 5, 7, and then this is a coefficient of 1. Again, when we have a variable and we don't see a number out in front of it, then that is just an understood 1. So 2 times 5 times 7 times 1, well, 2 times 5 is 10, times 7 is 70, and then times 1 is also 70. Okay, and now we're just going to kind of go down the line here, and I do want to kind of look at these in alphabetical order when we get to the variables. So the next letter in alphabetical order is K, so let's look at all of our K bases. We don't have any in this term. We do have K. This is going to be K to the 1 power, right, because we don't see an exponent there. So it looks like we've got K squared times K, so that's going to give us K to the third. All right, and then our next variable is r, so I'm just going to go through and look for all of those r bases. So we've got r to the 5th, r squared, r to the 4th. So when we add all of those together, let's see, this gives us 7 plus 4 is 11, so r to the 11th. And then our last variable here is t, so let's see if we can group all of those together. So we've got t to the first power, t to the third gives us 4, and then t to the second gives us 6. So t to the 6th power. So that is how the multiplication property of exponents works. This is part of my pre-algebra series. I have a ton of other videos all going over different pre-algebra skills. So if you are in pre-algebra, or if you are a teacher or a parent with students in pre-algebra, then please go ahead and check out the link in the description below, and I will see you next time.